Jake Madison, a guy from the small town of Omaha, Nebraska, stood on the platform of the local train station, clutching an old backpack. He'd come here to catch a train to Chicago, where a job in an office and a chance to start fresh awaited him. It was quiet around him, only the wind humming through the wires. Jake pulled out his phone and dialed his younger brother, Liam. "Hey, Liam, I'm at the station. The train's supposed to be on time. Should arrive in about 10 minutes, he said, trying to sound upbeat. "Cool, bro. Good you're on time. These trains are always a mess otherwise. Take care, okay? Sandwiches are in your backpack. Don't forget to eat," Liam replied with a hint of concern. "Yeah, don't worry. Look after Mom, all right? I'll be back in a couple of months. Bye." Jake smiled and ended the call. He plopped down on a worn bench, scanning the empty platform. Usually, stations buzzed with activity. Passengers, hot dog vendors, porters, but this place was silent, like an abandoned warehouse. Suddenly, a raspy voice crackled over the loudspeaker. "The Denver-Chicago Express is delayed by 2 hours." Jake frowned. Just 5 minutes ago, everything was on schedule. What the hell? He got up and headed to the ticket window. "Hey, what's going on? The train was on time a minute ago and now it's 2 hours late?" he asked, tapping on the glass. The attendant, an old guy with tired eyes, shrugged lazily. "It'll come. Don't worry. Wait a couple of hours, kid." "A couple of hours? That's not wait a little," Jake snapped, but the attendant turned away and seemed to fall asleep. Annoyed, Jake returned to the platform and called Liam again. "Listen, the train's delayed by 2 hours. It was fine just a moment ago, and now this." "Seriously? That's weird." Liam's voice wavered. "Be careful there, okay?" "Yeah, it's just the signal acting up," Jake grumbled as the call dropped. He cursed under his breath, staring at his phone, when suddenly headlights flared in the distance. His heart leaped with relief. The train crawled up to the platform and stopped. But something was off. The cars looked old, the windows pitch black, and there was no one on the platform but him. "Well, at least it's something," Jake muttered, slinging his backpack over his shoulder and stepping into the car. The door slammed shut with a rusty creak, and the train lurched forward. Inside, it was cold and gloomy, the lights flickering like in a cheap horror flick. Jake walked to his seat and noticed a guy across from him, thin, with sunken cheeks and a gaze glued to the window. "Hi," Jake started, settling in. "This train's definitely going to Chicago, right?" The guy turned slowly. His voice was low and hoarse. "Call me Ethan, and forget your questions." "Okay, Ethan. You all right?" "You look like you haven't slept in a week," Jake said, thrown off. "People are born without names," Ethan went on as if he hadn't heard. "And they leave the same way. No one remembers them." Jake blinked. What's this guy rambling about, he thought, but decided not to push it. Instead, he reached into his pocket for a cigarette. His nerves were frayed. Just as he flicked the lighter, a hand snatched it away. "No smoking!" barked a conductor, stepping out of the shadows. His uniform was wrinkled, dark circles framed his eyes. "Sorry, didn't know. Here, take it. I won't do it again," Jake offered the pack, hoping to smooth things over. The conductor stared at him. "I don't like you. Your face looks suspicious." "Are you serious?" "At least give me my cigarettes back. They're mine," Jake snapped. The conductor silently tossed the pack out the window. "You're insane!" Jake yelled, but the conductor grinned. "Quiet, kid, or they'll show up. Dangerous folks. You'll see them in Springfield." "Who'll show up?" Jake grabbed his sleeve, but the conductor yanked free and vanished into the dark corridor. Jake slumped back into his seat and glanced at Ethan. "Did you hear that? That psycho threw out my cigarettes. Got a spare?" "It's forbidden here," Ethan replied coldly. "You don't get it, do you?" "What's there to get? Everyone here's nuts," Jake shot back. Suddenly, a faint sob came from the next compartment. Jake tensed. "Did you hear that?" "What was it?" he asked, but Ethan just turned away. Unable to stand it, Jake got up and followed the sound. In the next section, a woman sat with her face in her hands, shoulders shaking with sobs. "Ma'am, you okay? Why are you crying?" he asked gently. She didn't answer, just kept whimpering. Jake sighed. "If you don't tell me, how can I help?" She jerked her head up. Her face was pale, dark circles under her eyes, her stare empty. "I need to go home. I don't want to go to Springfield. Get me out of here." Her voice rose to a scream. "Calm down, the train's going to Chicago, not Springfield," Jake tried to reassure her. "No, it's Springfield. I don't want to go there." She grabbed his arm. Jake recoiled. He bolted back to his seat, heart pounding. "What nightmare is this?" he thought as he sat down. Then a guy rolled in with a food cart. "Hey, what have you got?" Jake called out. "Food, staves off hunger," the guy said robotically. His eyes had dark shadows, too. "Specifically," Jake pressed, "stewed beef, no bread." "No bread? How do you eat that?" Jake asked, surprised. "Everyone eats it like this here," the guy said, handing over a plastic container. "Enjoy your trip." Jake opened the box and froze. Inside weren't chunks of meat, but human fingers. He flung it away with a yell, breath ragged. "What the hell?" he gasped, but when he looked again it was just beef. Hallucinations? "I'm exhausted," he told himself, trying to calm down. Ethan, still staring out the window, suddenly spoke. "You saw something weird in the food, didn't you?" "How did you—" Jake started, then stopped. "No, just my imagination. The light's dim, that's all." "It's not your imagination," Ethan said quietly. "It happened to me, too." Jake swallowed hard and forced himself to eat, though every bite felt off. Soon, a guy stumbled in with water bottles. "Water! Take some!" he shouted. Jake grabbed one, but the liquid inside was red. "Is this blood?" he jerked back. "What? Nah, it's cola." The vendor laughed. "Drink up. Don't stress." Jake took a sip. It tasted sweet, but a sticky feeling lingered on his lips. He glanced at Ethan. His creepy grin gleamed, eyes glinting. Deciding to wash up, Jake headed to the bathroom. On the way, he passed the crying woman again, still in the same pose, hands over her face. "What's wrong with her?" he muttered, picking up his pace. The bathroom door wouldn't budge. He yanked harder. Nothing. "Locked? Hey, anyone in there?" he called. Silence. Then the door swung open on its own. Inside was dark, the light flickering, water dripping from the ceiling. Jake stepped in and glanced at the mirror. At first, he looked normal, but a second later, blood streaked his neck and dark circles framed his eyes, just like everyone else on this train. "What's happening to me?" he blurted. He stumbled back, but the reflection returned to normal. Nerves, he told himself, heading back to his seat. Ethan and the woman were gone. The car was empty. Jake pulled on his hoodie and shut his eyes, hoping to doze off. But through his sleep, voices broke through. "Save me. I don't want to die." It was the woman. "Bro, help!" Ethan's voice joined her. He opened his eyes. The woman stood at one exit, Ethan at the other. Blood covered their faces. "You'll die like us!" the woman screamed and jumped from the train. Ethan followed. Jake rushed to the door in a panic. Dark fields flashed by outside, no bodies in sight. Then a voice came from behind. The conductor. "See them jump? Had to happen. Springfield's close. You're done for." "Get away! I'm not dying!" Jake yelled, shoving him aside. He jolted awake. The car was empty. The train still. Outside, a sign read, "Springfield." Jake stumbled onto the platform. Silence pierced his ears. Then he saw them in the distance, the conductor, the food vendor, Ethan, the woman, all walking toward the tracks. His phone buzzed. Liam was calling. "Bro, you alive? The train you were on crashed near Springfield. Tons of casualties." "What?" Jake turned. On the tracks lay a derailed train, bodies of everyone he'd met scattered around. A chill ran down his spine. He turned again and saw them, pale figures with bloody faces. "You'll die too," they whispered. The next morning, newspapers reported a crash near Springfield. Among the victims was the headless body of a young man. It was Jake Madison.